guys, today we're going to be making this super cute, funny crochet burger bucket hat. We are going to need a color for our bun, which I have this gold red heart color. We have our burger patty, which will need a brown, green for our lettuce, yellow for our cheese, and then red for our tomato. We're going to need 2 hooks. We're going to need a size 5mm crochet hook and a size 4mm crochet hook, some scissors, and a needle. Okay, and we're going to start with our bun color. Okay, we're starting with our bun color in our 5mm crochet hook. We're going to take our yarn to make a magic ring. We're going to wrap around our 2 fingers and make an X. We're going to flip over and make a parallel line. Hold that with your ring finger. We'll take our yarn, or our hook, go under the first loop, pull the second loop through, and then we'll grab our working yarn and pull through. Okay, and then now we have a magic ring. Then we can chain 1, and then we're going to go into our magic ring with 8 half double crochets. So for a half double crochet, we'll yarn over, insert our hook, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, so again, yarn over, insert our hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, we're going to go ahead and make 8 half double crochets. Okay, and then once we have 8 half double crochets, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to pull our tail to close our circle. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet. Okay, and that's going to create our circle. Okay, so that's the first round. We should have 8 double crochets in our circle. Now we'll chain 1, and then we're going to go into every stitch, including that first one that we slip stitched into, and we're going to do an increase. So it's going to be 2 half double crochets in each stitch. Okay, so 2 half double crochets, 2 half double crochets into the next, 2 half double crochets into each stitch. Okay, and by the end of this, we should have a total of 16 stitches. If you want to go ahead and count just to make sure, you should have 16 at this point. Okay, and then once we place our last half double crochet, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the row. Okay, that's row 2. For row 3, we're going to chain 1. Into that same stitch, we're going to place 1 half double crochet. Into the next, we're going to place an increase, so 2 half double crochets. Into the next with 1 half double crochet. Into the next with 2 half double crochets. Okay, so we're just going to repeat that. We're going to do 1 half double crochet into one stitch, into the next with 2. We're going to repeat this all the way around. We should be ending with an increase. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish off this row. Okay, and then once we get to the end, we're slip stitching into the first half double crochet. And you should have 24 stitches at this point. In the next row, chain 1. Into the first 2 stitches, we're going to place a 1 half double crochet. So 1 half double crochet, 1 into the next, and then into that third stitch, we're going to place an increase. And then we're going to repeat 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and then into the third with an increase. Okay, we're just going to repeat this all the way around. So again, it's 2 half double crochets and then an increase into the third. Okay, once we get to the end, we do our slip stitch, and then that was row 4. Okay, so for row 5, we're going to chain 1. We're going to place a half double crochet into the first 3 stitches, and then we're going to increase into the 4th. Okay, so this row is going to be 1 half double crochet into 3 stitches, and then increase into the 4th, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. And then we are now working on row 10. We are now working on row 5. Okay, and we're going to continue these until we get to row 8. So this row is going to be 3 half double crochets, increase into the 4th. The next row is going to be 4 half double crochets, increase into the 5th, and then so on. So go ahead and continue that, and I'll meet you back and we'll go from there. Okay, so I just finished my row 8. For that last row, we should have increased into the 7th stitch, and we should have a total of 64 stitches around. And now for the next 3 rows, which is going to be row 9, 10, and 11, we're just going to go around placing 1 half double crochet in every stitch. Okay, so no increases, just half double crochets into every stitch. Again, we should have 64 stitches. This is row 9, and we're going to do 3 rows. So we're going to do row 9, 10, and 11 are all going to be regular half double crochet rows. I'm going to go ahead and do those 3 rows, and then I'll meet you guys back once we are ready for row 12. Okay, once we get to the end of our row, we're going to slip stitch. We're going to chain 1, and then we're actually going to cut our yarn, and pull through. Okay, and if you find that you need your hat bigger, before we do our 3 regular rows, you can add more increase rows if you wanted. If you did want it smaller, you could do less. So do less increase rows and then go on to the 3 half double crochet rows. Okay, but this is where we are. Now we are going to start on our lettuce. Okay, so we're going to take our green color, and again with our 5mm crochet hook, and start by making a slip knot. Okay, I'm just going to go into that first our first stitch, which is where we place our slip stitch. I'm going to attach my yarn there and then chain 1. And then we're just going to go around again with a regular half double crochet row. So I'm going to go into that same stitch that I attached to and place 1 half double crochet. And then we're going to go ahead and just place 1 half double crochet in every stitch around. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat this all the way around until we get to the beginning, and then I'll show you what to do now. We're going to start making our lettuce, our wavy lettuce. Okay, so I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, so at the end of our lettuce row, we're going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet. This time we're going to chain 2, and we're going to turn our work. Okay, now we're going to start the squiggly lettuce, so we're going to use double crochets, and this time we're only going to go into the back loop. Okay, so into that first stitch, we're going to place 2 double crochets into the back loop only. So the back loop, you can see there's V's. We're going to go right in here. Oops. Okay, and then in there, we're going to place 2 double crochets. Into the next, we're going to do 3 double crochets. Okay, into the next with 2 double crochets again. And then into the next with 3. So we're just going to repeat this into every stitch around. We're going into the back loop only. We're going to do 2 double crochets into one stitch, 3 double crochets into the next, and we're just going to keep repeating that all the way around. And this is going to start creating our ruffle. Okay, see, as you can see, it's creating a ruffle here. We're going to go ahead and continue around, and then I'll meet you guys back at the beginning. And once we get back to the beginning, we're going to slip stitch into that first double crochet. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to cut our work. Okay, and then that is our lettuce. Next is going to be our tomato, so we will take our red yarn at this point. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make a slip knot to attach our new yarn, our new color. And then we're going to go back to our hat, and we're actually going to turn our work back around. So we turned our work to do the lettuce, we're going to turn our work back around so that we're working the correct way again. And then underneath our lettuce flap, so you can fold that over, but you will see our stitches from when we did our half double crochet row. And we're just going to go into the back side. Any stitch, I would stay close to our seam. So I'm going to go into this first one here. Oops, my bad. So I attached it there into one of the half double crochets. Again, I have my lettuce folded and I'm underneath. I'm going to chain 1. I'm just going to work over my red yarn here. Okay, and then I'm going to place a half double crochet into that same stitch. Okay, and then we're just going to go all the way around, placing a half double crochet into every stitch. So again, we are working into the half double crochet row of our lettuce color. Okay, hope that makes sense. So you can see our half double crochets here right underneath our double crochets, and we're just going to go into every single one, placing a half double crochet. Okay, so simple enough. I'm going to go ahead and finish off this row and meet you guys back at the beginning. Okay, once we get to the end, we're going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet. We're going to chain 1. And then we're going to do another round of half double crochets into every stitch. So same as before. We're actually going to repeat this for 2 more rows. So we'll have 3 rows total of our tomato. Okay, so we'll do this row and then 1 more. I'm going to go ahead and complete those, and then I'll meet you back once our tomato is finished. Okay, I finished my 3 rows of the tomato. Next is going to be our cheese. So we're going to take our yellow yarn, make a slip knot, and attach just like before. And then right now we're actually just going to go ahead and make do the same thing. We're just going to do a half double crochet into every stitch around. For the cheese, we are only going to do 1 row. So just go ahead, do a regular row of half double crochets. The cheese slices we're going to make and add them at the end once our hat is finished. So for now, we're just placing half double crochets into every stitch. Okay, so just like before, so I'm going to finish this and then meet you back, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so that's what we have with the cheese row. Next is going to be our burger patty. So we're going to take our brown yarn, And then this is going to be the same thing. Okay, so I'm just going to let you guys go ahead and do it. And then I'll meet you back once we go onto the brim. With the burger patty, we're doing the same thing. We're attaching it and we're placing a half double crochet into every row. Into every stitch. Okay, so same thing we've been doing for the tomato and the cheese. We're just doing half double crochets all the way around. And then for the burger patty, we're going to do a total of 3 rows. So go ahead and do your 3 rows, and then we will meet back and finish off with the bottom bun. Okay, so this is what we have after our brown, our 3 rows of brown. Okay, so we're going to be doing our bottom bun, which is going to be our bun color. And it's also going to be the brim of our hat. So instead of half double crochets, we are going to be doing double crochets. And I am going to be working into the back loop here. Okay, so I'm going to attach my yarn into the back loop. We're going to chain 2. And then I'm going to go in with 1 double crochet. Okay, and then into the next, I'm going to go in with 2 double crochets. Okay, into the next with 1 double crochet. And then again, into the next with 2. Oops. And then we're just going to alternate this all the way around. Okay, so we're working in the back loops only. And we're doing 1 double crochet into 1 stitch, 2 into the next, 1 into the next. So just alternating all the way around. Okay, and this is going to start creating the wave for our brim, so it's not just straight. If you want it straight, that's fine. Go ahead. But I'm going to go ahead and alternate here. I'm going to go ahead and finish, and then I'll meet you back at the end, and then we'll go on to the second round of the brim. Okay, so I finished my first row of the brim. I'm going to slip stitch into the first double crochet of the row, and then we're going to do 1 more row. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to alternate. We're going to do 1 double crochet into the first, 2 into the next, all the way around. Okay, and then if you want less of a ruffle for this row, you could just double crochet in each stitch instead of doing the 2 double crochets, the alternating. Just do 1 in each stitch if you don't want it to ruffle so much. If you want it to ruffle more, you can alternate between 2 and 3 double crochets, however you want to do it. I'm just going to alternate again between 1 and 2. And then this is going to be my last row. You can also do more rows if you want a longer brim, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Again, I'm alternating again between 1 and 2 double crochets in each stitch. Okay, and then once we reach the end, we're going to slip stitch to the beginning, chain 1, cut our work, and fasten off, and then this is what we have. This is what we have now. Now all we have to do now, which this is also completely optional, is going to be our cheese slices. So for those, I'm going to be using my 4mm crochet hook. And you can make as many as you like. I'm going to do 4 because I do imagine it like a square cheese, and it's going to have 4 corners, but you can do as many as you like. So to do the cheese, we're going to start with a slip knot. We're going to chain 2. Okay, and then we're going to go into that first stitch. So skip the second stitch, go into the first with 2 single crochets. We're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work. Okay, and this time we're going to place 2 single crochets into both stitches. Okay, we'll chain 1 and turn. We now have 4 stitches. We're going to place a single crochet into the first 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then into the 4th stitch, we're going to place 2 single crochets. And then we'll chain 1. Okay. Now we should have 5 stitches. So now we're going to go into the first 4 with a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then into the 5th stitch, we're going to go in with 2 single crochets. Chain 1, turn. We now have 6. We're going to go ahead, go into the first 5 with a single crochet. And then into the 6th stitch with 2 single crochets. Okay, and then you can honestly repeat this however many times. Depends on how big you want your cheese. I'm going to go ahead and finish there. I'm going to chain 1. Cut my work. And then I should have cut that longer. I would leave a long, this is going to work for me, but I would leave a long tail. We're going to use it to sew it on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make 4 of those, and then I'll show you how we attach them. Okay, once we make our cheese slices, which again I have 4, I will decide where we're going to attach them, which placement doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and place 2 on the front here. And I'm thinking something like that, and then I'll place the other 2 on the back. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I attach this. So we're going to need our needle. We're going to thread our needle with the tail of our cheese slice. I'm going to turn my work so it's upside down. And then wherever I decide to attach it, I'm going to start in here. I'm actually going to take my yarn into one of the posts of the half double crochets. And then into in between the V's of the cheese. Okay. Attach it like that. And then into the next stitch. I'm going to go right under it again, into the yellow, and then again into the cheese like that. Okay, into the next stitch. And then I have 7 stitches of my cheese, so I'll be doing this into 7 stitches of the half double crochets here. And if you prefer to attach it a different way, go ahead. It really doesn't matter. It just needs to be sewed on somehow, some way. This is just how I do mine. And I'm going into that back loop of the cheese slice just to make sure that my cheese slice faces down, which is also why I have my work inside out. I don't want it to be, you know, floating around or whatever, sticking up. I want it to face down. There we go. Then I'm just going to go in here like this. And then honestly how I weave mine in, because we also need to weave in this end of our cheese. I pulled that yarn to the inside of my hat. And then I'm just going to, which again, you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to weave in my bottom thread here all the way up until the top here, and then I'm going to put this through the back too. That way I can tie them together. I just want to make sure it's secure, but you don't have to do it that way. That's just how I do mine. Make sure it's secure. And then on the inside, you can weave it in some more if you like. So I'm going to loop both of these into my needle. And then I'm just going to thread it through a couple rows. just so it's safe and secure. Okay, and then I will cut those. And there we go. My first cheese slice is attached. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach my 4. Again, you can place them wherever you'd like. Okay, you guys, now we are done. I attached all 4 of my cheese slices. Now, at that point, you'll go ahead and weave in all of your ends, and then you are finished. If you do make this, please tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see it. Or not. That's okay. But I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Swing.